This is a special presentation on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Welcome in, everybody. The Where's Home Show, Season 2, Episode 1, alongside Noah Schlicksup. How you doing, Doe?
I'm doing great, man. Ready to talk some baseball here on the Where's Home Show. Excited to make my Where's Home Show debut here on Action Sports Jax 24/7. No better place to be.
Happy birthday, dude. How you feeling?
Thank you very much. I'm feeling exactly the same.
Sweet. So,
I'm feeling ready for a steak dinner with the family.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit about some stuff we're doing this year. We got a lot going on this year compared to last year. Last year was kind of a test run. Me and Gaige, we had an idea. I was like, why not we just talk a little bit of high school baseball? Only one other person doesn't. It's Brent Martineau right here on Action Sports Jax. So we're joining him, and we're just going to add some more baseball talk. So this year, weekly show every Sunday from 6 to 7. Just highlighting Jacksonville baseball, some top performers, a game of the week every week. We actually post a poll on X of kind of the 4 best games we think. We let everybody vote, and the best one comes out and wins. And we'll announce the one that won this week. And then from that game of the week, we also do Player of the Game, which is presented by Represent Baseball. They send that player a pair of shorts, a pair of shirt, and some decals to that player of the game. We also have the play of the game presented by Boost Energy and Coffee. We'll show that from the Baldwin Oakleaf game that happened last Tuesday. Then we got a pitcher and hitter of the week. Pitcher of the week presented by Boost Energy and Coffee. Hitter of the week presented by Dantzler Group General Roofing and Contracting. Each game of the week will be filmed on YouTube. Be posted on YouTube. That one's actually coming out tomorrow or Tuesday. It's a full game, just cut up a little bit into like 25 minutes. So it's fun to watch. And then Noah had a good idea a couple weeks ago. We're doing Cover the Bases presented by Boost Energy and Coffee. We'll show Braden Harris later at the end of the show. And what is that? What is the other one we're doing? It was the 5-question thing.
Yeah, we're doing 5 questions to get to know Braden Harris, and then Connor Belzic, the next one coming up. That'll be next week here on the show.
Yep. So we'll post that one out on YouTube, but you guys will be the first to see it. And then let's pull up the rankings. We had a crazy week this week. Some stuff that some people probably didn't think that was going to happen. So let's talk about the rankings.
Yeah, let's get into the rankings. Chandler pulling them up, and there was a lot. It's this first week. You're trying to figure out what everybody's got, and some teams definitely went out and sent a message. And I think it's good to start off with number 5. Bishop Kenny's definitely one that went out there and got the job done. They go out there 3-0 on the week. They get wins over Christchurch, Eaglesview, and Clay. BK, it's a young team, but the starters didn't allow a single earned run, according to Max Preps, in week 1. I think that's a dangerous team and obviously an established program. They're going to go out, and I think they have the opportunity to make some noise this year. Number 4, Trinity Christian. I wouldn't be shocked, Chandler, to see these guys climb up the rankings as the season goes on. They get upset by Creekside, and week 1, you lose to a team. Creekside came very close to knocking off Spruce Creek as well. I feel like it's only right that the Knights start ahead of Trinity in these rankings. Creekside, obviously, with that win, coming in number 3. It's a team that has a nice mix of returning talent as well as some new faces on that team. And they're big. They are a physical group this year with a lot of pop in those bats. They've got, obviously, fantastic pitching staff headlined by Gavin Dupre and Nat Bysheim, who we'll have here on the show later. Chandler and Gaige will have a good conversation there with Matt. St. John's Country Day coming in at the number 2 spot. 3 big wins for the Spartans here in week 1. Going out to Swanee, getting the dub is very big. And I think the team to beat after week 1 right now is Bishop Snyder, starting off 2-0, wins over Fernandina Beach, and always tough to go over to Tallahassee and get a win over Lincoln. They've got some great talent over there, headlined obviously by Cody Bichelle, Trip Hanna, Lewis Turner on that pitching staff. They've got a good group over there that we have at number 1 here after week 1. And Chandler, you look over this list, and it's a group that we talked a lot about how this can go different ways, but it's a good 5. And then on the bubble, you got Providence, Sequoia, Clay, other teams that are looking right in there.
Yeah, the 5 spot's always tough to pick because I feel like any of those 4 teams could go in that 5 spot. And I really do think BK earned it. That 10-inning game against Clay, and Clay always has a good team. They have a great team this year. They got that Ryland McMahon pitcher, lefty, committed to Florida. I think he's a 27. So that team's tough to beat, and they're always well coached. Josh Persinger over there. So I think BK definitely deserved that 5 spot. The talk was like, should Creekside go ahead of Trinity? And I'm full believer of that. They came out and beat him. Matthew Bysheim, which like you said, we'll have him later on in the show. He shoved against them. 70 pitches, I believe, 4 innings, 6 Ks, 1 hit. So I definitely think they should be ahead of Trinity. But like you said, Trinity will definitely jump the ranks later on in the season. They got a tough schedule. They'll find a way to win with that lineup. So I think this lineup, these rankings are pretty good. I think you could go either back and forth with Bishop Snyder and St. John's. Bishop Snyder won against Fernandina Beach 2-0. They threw their FSU commit, Preston Matricardi, and then they beat Lincoln yesterday, which was coming down to the last inning. They won 4-3. So I think Bishop Snyder definitely deserved, to be in that one spot after beating a team like Lincoln.
Yeah, that goes out. That sends a message going out to Tallahassee. It's a tough place to play. Always a great team, great program, and interesting ballpark as well. I went out there for a rain game a couple years ago, and that's a group. You got Chase Fuller out there. You've got some studs on that team. A big win there for Snyder. Really, I think there's so much debate here in that top 4. I feel like really could have gone any which way after week 1, and there's a lot of talk. On paper, when you match up Trinity and Creekside, you'd probably take Trinity.
Yeah.
But what happened on the diamond here in week 1?
Yeah,
Creekside got victory. So I think, there's not much debate for me putting the Knights ahead of Trinity after week 1. I think we'll see the Conquerors make that climb as the season goes on, but the game ain't played on paper. It's played on a baseball diamond, and that's what happened there. And then for 1 and 2, it's so tough because you go back and forth. Both those teams have so much talent. St. John's Country Day and Bishop Snyder. It's tough, but in the end, this is where we go. The Cardinals, the big win, rocketing them up to number 1 of these rankings.
Yeah, just to go back to Creekside, they're always a scrappy team, and I don't really like the word scrappy because it could go either way, but Creekside always has a good team, and 2 years ago, actually, Creekside beat Trinity. I think you broadcasted that game, and that was a big upset too. So maybe it's just like maybe there's a new rival between Creekside and Trinity. I was definitely. Yeah. You got it.
I mean, you were on that side of it for a little bit. I'm not sure how Trinity feels exactly. I know, really, if you're any team in the area, Trinity has a target on their backs. I'm not sure how much Trinity feels towards some of these other teams, but Creekside's given them some trouble over the past few years, and I'm certain that maybe that isn't something they'll have them feeling great things towards Creekside. You get beat by a team, they get under your skin, you go into that game and you're thinking, we got these guys. On paper, Trinity should beat Creekside 9 times out of 10. Yeah. But the Knights, like you said, they're scrappy. They found ways to win, and I'd see Trinity having a bit of a rivalry there towards Creekside, and I think anyone that goes up against Trinity Christian, they're motivated to go out and take down those guys with all the high-level recruits, high-level talent, and the hype that comes around that team, which is well-deserved, I might add.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I think that was a great top 5. You'll see a lot of different top 5s in the area. So I thought that was one of the best top 5s because we usually do a preseason top 5.
Yeah, this is the big time, though. This is the one you want to be on.
Yeah, this is the one right here. But we usually do a preseason top 5. We did last year. And it's just like you're pretty much just guessing and looking at roster. And if you look at Trinity's roster, they're 1. They're ranked highly in the nation. And then they go out that first week and have that game against Creekside. Anyways, it brings me up to my next topic. Just kind of some new rules that changed in the FHSAA. The 3-game series came in last year, the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals, and then back to the 1-game Final Four state championship. But this year they're changing it up a little bit where the quarterfinals is just 1 game, semifinals 3, final 3, and then state championship, Final Four, it's just 1 game. Just talk a little bit about, you broadcasted Creekside last year. You were still around, high school baseball. What did you see in that 3-game series? Do you like it?
I think as a fan, you want to see that 3-game series. You get out there, and there's a different hype around it. We're baseball fans, man. We go out, we see these games, you watch the playoffs, the World Series, and there's a certain hype around these series, and I think the other part about it is these games, it makes sure, in my opinion, that the best team really gets through to the next round. One team can go out and they can ride an arm through the playoffs in those one game series. And that doesn't mainly reflect the entire team. So you go out there, you play that 3-game series, you figure out really which is the best team on the diamond. And from a fan's perspective, the pure excitement, every pitch, every inning, it matters and it builds up. Game 3, I was able to experience one out there at Timber Creek last year, Creekside and Timber Creek. That was as exciting as high school baseball comes. That
Yeah.
entire series, it had a different feel to it. But from the other side of things, it's the administrative standpoint. That's tough. There's teams that are going out to the Panhandle back-to-back days, and they have another series out there. The cost, it's very tough for some of these schools to make that happen. So I think from a fan's perspective, yeah, you want to see that 3-game series. Heck, from the quarterfinals all the way through the state championship. I
Yeah.
mean, they're out there. Why aren't they doing that for the state championship already?
Yeah.
But cost is the reason. But from that other side of things, money and resources are limited, and that's kind of where this comes in. But for me, I love the 3-game series. I know, and teams, I think it depends whether they win or lose, how they feel about it.
Yeah, for sure. And as a player, for sure, I love the 3-game series. Georgia's always done it for a long time now, and all of us Florida boys were like, why can't we do that? And they finally brought it in last year. We loved it because usually the best team always comes out with the win. If you got more than one pitcher, you're probably going to win that series. Um, I think this year, I think you might see some upsets in that quarterfinal game, just because if that other team has that best pitcher, has that top guy, they might win that game if they don't find the way to figure out their bats. And then just to bring up like the money stuff you were talking about, Bozeman last year came and played. I don't know the order, but they came and played to Jackson. They're in the Panhandle. They came to Jacksonville 3 times in 3 weeks. They came to Bishop Snyder. They also came to Trinity. They went to Bowles. And then 2 of those games went to Game 3. So they're coming to Jacksonville and then going back for that Game 3 to their place. That was a lot of money they spent. And I think they're
Oh,
one of the big reasons that they set it up that way. So there's only Game 3 in the semifinal and the final.
you think about it, though, they kind of set it up now how the MLB playoffs used to be. Think of the quarterfinals as the wild card round, where you got the one winner go home game. And that's where you got some big potential for upsets. And the amount of momentum that's going to be coming off of those games are huge. You're going to have that game where you're out there, you're going to be able to use your arms. You're going out there doing everything you can to win that game and propel you into that next series. I think it's going to be very exciting. And then you get into the 3-game series, and there's nothing better, in my opinion, than a 3-game series in high school baseball. The excitement, the hype, the energy that comes through those. And again, you really get to see which team truly earns to go on to that next round, which team is really the better squad out there. So I agree with the decision overall, just from a logistics standpoint, to move it to just the 2-3-game series. I think it's a lot to ask. Even two of those 3-game series is maybe a lot to ask
Yeah.
for these schools. So I'm glad we still have them. It's funny. We talk a lot about Georgia here in Florida with high school sports. They set the example, I think you can
Yeah,
say,
for sure.
from an administrative standpoint. And it's still exciting to have these 3-game series. I feel like if money were a thing, I'd love to have it all the way through. I'm sure we all would, but I'm glad we've still got it here for the semifinals and the finals in regionals this year.
Yeah, and I agree with that. The Final Four and state championship should be a 3-game series because the best team should always win, and the best team will win if they do that 3-game series. Because if you're going into that state championship, it's usually back to back, and if you only have one guy, you're going to win that Final Four game and kind of struggle in that state championship game. If it was spread it out into 2 weeks, I think the best team would win in each classification. So I think this separates from Georgia and Florida. Georgia does home and away for state championships and Final Four, which that's the reason they can do, the 3-game series there. As for us in Florida, we go down to Fort Myers and play in a minor league stadium. I don't think you can rent. FHSA can rent out, for 2 or 3 weeks in 7 classifications. So I think that's the reason. But I really do wish there was a 3-game series later on after regionals.
Yeah, how often here in Florida have we just said, just copy Georgia, do what they do, man.
Yeah,
It works.
and a lot of things.
A lot of things, but I'm glad we've still got this in place, and hopefully we can see it expanded in a reasonable way down the line.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna hit a break. We'll send Noah off to his birthday dinner with his family. Appreciate you joining us. He'll be back with us next week. When we come back, co-host Gaige Denby will come and talk about a little bit of the week 1 recap. We'll talk about the game of the week he went to and filmed, and yeah. So we'll hit a break and live here on Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network.
Baker Sports is awesome.
Baker Sports is family.
Baker Sports is a team.
The whole time the motto I have, and I still say it to this day, was to be able to service, to out-service the competition, to be able to say yes, to have the ability to say yes. I used to say if Corky Rogers won the state championship on a Friday night, I wanted to have the ability to print him t-shirts and have them ready for him when he got off the bus when he got back to Jacksonville. And we've just continued that all along. Now, do we always say yes? No, but we want to have the ability and to control as many factors as we can to say yes.
We are going to go above and beyond, that we are going to do everything that we can possibly do to make sure that kid has a jersey on his or her game day.
Baker Sports is growing. Baker Sports is a family.
Baker Sports is home.
It's a lot of work that goes into our business. It's not Amazon. We're not just picking something off the shelf and shipping it to you. We're customizing almost everything we touch. It is literally all I've ever done. And my wife actually, when I started the company, when we started the company, she was a senior in high school. So it's all she's ever done as well. And it's the only boss I've ever had.
Business changes, and you have to evolve with business. As things change, we just keep pouring back into it. We love our community, and we love the people that work here, and we love what we do.
This sky's the limit. I mean, we went from maybe 10 to 12 people at the most, and now look at it. We're a couple hundred people here between production and sales, so it's just gonna get bigger.
Baker Sports is culture.
Baker Sports is family.
Baker Sports is relentless.
We're just over 100,000 square feet in this facility right now with the ability to expand. So it's all 3 companies. See, we've had Pro Gear now for 4 years. So bought Burbank Sportnets 10 years ago. Burbank and Baker's had never been under the same roof. And then we added Pro Gear shoulder pads 4 years ago. So to have the ability to put all 3 companies under one roof and just expand all 3 companies at the same time with extra space, we're already seeing the benefits, and we're only a month and a half in. The way the 3 companies complement each other. The Baker Sports sales force sells the Pro Gear shoulder pads and also sells the Burbank Sport Net. So the synergies between the 3 companies, since we've been in the same building, we've probably sold more netting on the Baker side than we had the previous 9 years. It's been great.
This business has been very good to us. We feel very blessed to be here where we are today, and the opportunities that it provides for everyone here that works here. We feel very blessed to be able to do that.
We are a family. It's one big team between all 3 businesses.
We do everything. We do netting to protect scoreboards. We do the field goal netting, the raise and lower field goal netting, football stadium, volleyball. Everything's trying to contain a ball. We've got the netting to contain the ball and protect the fans. The netting company really made us the one-stop shop on the baseball side of things, because we've got complete facilities with the netting. And Pro Gear's done that for Baker's on the football side. And just what a cool business, man, to be able to see there. And we all watch football, right? We're in the South, so we're football crazy. And to be able to watch the games on TV, and you see that jersey sleeve pop up, and that Pro Gear flapping, and the back plates hanging out the back, just a really fun and cool business. Talking about on Saturday, the who's who are wearing it. You've got Ohio State, Michigan, Florida, Florida State, Alabama, Tennessee, Clemson, Georgia. You're talking guys that all of those teams are majority of Pro Gear. Some of them are all Pro Gear, not to mention the other schools around. And then you see some of the key players on Sunday that's wearing it. You got Travis Kelce, you got Tyreek Hill, J.J. McCarthy the other night on Monday Night Football. I saw him run out of bounds and the Pro Gear logo just a flapping. So these, we've made such a gain on the market in the college piece that those guys are going to the NFL saying, hey, we don't want a competitor, we want Pro Gear. It's American-made pad, right? On our custom pads, we bring some stock pads in from overseas in the high school and youth market, but our custom pads are 100% American-made. It's a really fun business, and just watching how it's taken off the last 2 years has been incredible.
Baker Sports is family.
Baker Sports is family.
Baker Sports is family.
We are a family business. We want to create a team. You've got people that are just super talented, you've got grinders, and then you've got role players on every team that you've been a part of. And that's what we have here. And you combine that team and those pieces with the family environment and, and the love that we have in this building, and it just is a, recipe for success.
This is a special presentation on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Welcome back to the Where's Home show here on Action Sports Jax 24/7. We bring in Gaige Denby. We're picking him up off the bench. Noah's got to leave for his birthday dinner. We'll go over the week 1 recap presented by Torque Sports Performance. How you doing, Gaige?
Can't complain. It's been a minute since we've been doing this. I guess a year ago from now. So
yeah, had a lot of fun last year. Just tell us a little about some games you saw that were some good games.
Yeah, well, Oakleaf and Baldwin was our game of the week. I guess you say last week. Do you consider Sunday the end of the week, or?
Yeah, I would say last.
Or is
last
it still
week.
This week? Yeah. So last week, Oakleaf versus Baldwin. We filmed that game on Tuesday. We'll go a little bit in depth in that later, but Baldwin beats Oakleaf 8-6. And then we had Trinity versus Swanee. Trinity beat Swanee 4-2. And then some stats from that game. Parker Lowe went 2 for 3 with a double and a triple, 2 extra base hits, and an RBI. Gage Patrutz went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. And Tyler Ellis had a good game on the mound, throwing 4 innings, allowing 2 hits and 3 walks, but striking out 8. And then probably the most interesting game of the week, Chandler, was, I guess if you were at the game, was Bishop Kenny and Clay. Bishop Kenny beat Clay 3-2 in 10 innings. I know they probably ran through their arms for that week. 6 pitchers were used, though, so not really nothing too crazy. And then big shout out to Colin Ulrich, who went 1 for 4 with the walk-off single. He's pulling up right here, yeah.
There's no sound, but yeah, it's the ball. Full stop hits it.
Probably one of the, I'd probably say that's the most exciting thing in baseball. Walk-off.
Walk-off?
Yeah. Definitely a cool thing to be a part of. Everyone's done it. A little bit cool if it's a home run, but I guess they'll take it when it comes.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best feelings I probably ever had was.
Yeah, I actually don't think I ever had one of those.
You didn't hold the stick for too long, so probably.
This is
Whoops.
a special presentation
Misclick.
on the Action Sports
Misclick there.
24/7 network.
What's the next game you got?
Yeah. We got Beachside beating Bartram 4-0. Jonathan Alvarez threw 5 innings on the mound, allowing 2 hits, 3 walks, 7 Ks, and he also went 1 for 4 with the RBI at the plate. And then also Harrison Tapley from that game went 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about was Fleming Island beating St. Augustine. I would say that's an upset, right? Yeah.
I would say so.
Beat them 2-1, and then shout out Connor Massey. He went 1 for 2 with a double, 2 RBIs, and a walk. So, what you
Fleming
got?
Island, St. Aug. That was a good game. I got Oakleaf, Ponte Vedra. They played later in the week after.
Good bounce back.
Yeah, good bounce back after the Baldwin game. Oakleaf won that one 7-6. Jeter Farina 1 for 3 with a double and 2 RBIs. Reggie Keaton 1 for 2 with 3 RBIs. And then the big game, Trinity Creekside.
Oh yeah.
That was Thursday night. Creekside wins that one 2-0. As me and Noah talked about it earlier. Connor Belazic or Belzic. Noah told me which one it was. It's either Belazic or Belzic. So one of those. He went 1 for 3 at the plate with RBI. He got thrown out at second after a double, but if you go back and watch the video,
we seen that.
I think he might have been safe.
He looked safe to me.
It was a close one, but he got the run out of it. So
I don't say that's close, but
it was close. I would say it's close. Hudson Hyatt went 2 for 2 at the plate, and then Matthew Bysheim 5 innings pitched, 1 hit, 6 Ks, 0 walks, and 70 pitches. Outstanding performance.
What a game!
And that's his teammates in summer ball, so that was probably pretty cool for him. We'll talk to him later.
Probably the game that most people were looking forward to heading into the week.
Yeah, for sure.
So definitely a big game, a big win to start the year.
Yeah, and pitching against your former teammates, you always want to strike them out, and your former coach. So you have that edge against you, and probably a little nervous going into that. We'll talk about it with him later though. And the other one was St. John's Swanee. We played Friday night at Swanee. We won that one 3-1. Good game. Swanee has a great team. They also went and played Trinity on Tuesday and lost that one 4-2. So, some 2 low-scoring games against 2 top teams.
Yeah.
In
and
the
then
area.
St. John's, also, you guys won 3 this week.
Yeah, we won against UC, Bysheim, and Swanee.
Starting off a little bit slow early in the games.
First innings weren't our thing this last week.
That's okay. That's why there's 6 more.
Exactly. So we got Preston Cole went 1 for 3 at the plate with an RBI and a home run. Hudson Dantzler 1 for 3 with an RBI. Shout out my cousin. Ethan Bissell 4 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 run, 4 Ks, and then Gavin Coffey came in to close that one. 3 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 6 Ks.
What a wrap up to the first week of high school baseball.
You ever played at Swanee?
Nope. That was when I was hurt. That was my junior year. We went there, but I didn't go.
I'll tell you something. It's I would say it's nice, but the wall is all brick.
In the outfield?
Yeah, there's no padding or nothing. So if you run
ball
into that
just
thing,
bouncing off like a ping pong,
You're
or
gonna
not
have-
like a bouncy ball, not like a ping pong.
all right, bro.
What?
Yeah, but if you run into that thing, you're probably gonna end up in the hospital somewhere. And then the last game I'll talk about is Lincoln and Bishop Snyder. Bishop Snyder won that one 4-3. Trip Hanna went 3 for 3 at the plate. Landis Pickett went 2 for 3, and then Cody Boschel started that one for the Cardinals.
You played Swanee on Friday night, right?
Yeah, Friday. They
Now-
played 3 games. They played Trinity, Episcopal, which Episcopal has a good team this year as well, and then they played us.
Is it true that like the whole town comes out to the games? Like, is there a lot of people there?
Yeah, so there was.
That's what I heard. That like there's like crazy amount of people that go to the games.
Yeah, tons of people, and it was actually pretty cool. Like,
that is cool.
They had a whole it seems like they put a lot of their money into that school. They had a whole broadcast set up. Like, there was a camera in left field with a guy with a headset on, camera in right field with a guy with a headset on, and then the guy.
It probably happened in Jacksonville too. It's just
all the way
very
in
big
center.
city. So
yeah, that's true.
It's hard to do. Like the Georgia schools that you were talking about earlier. Like all those schools, they're one school in the whole county.
Like
Or
Lowndes.
two schools in the county, so a lot more money and goes into it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about that game of the week you went to. Oakleaf won that one 8-6.
Yeah. High scoring game, obviously. Is Baldwin? You said Oakleaf won.
Oh, Baldwin won 8-6.
Yeah. You could see right there 3 errors from Baldwin. Not good defensively. Oakleaf let up 1. I'm pretty sure both teams' first runs came off of errors. Max from Baldwin, Maxwell Gallagher, he pitched pretty well. The first run he let up was off an error, and then I think he ended up throwing 4 innings. Kind of fell off there at the end a little bit. They started hitting better. Yeah, it was a interesting game for sure. High scoring. Baldwin was up 8-1, I think, and then Oakleaf came back and scored 5 in the 5th and 6th.
I haven't watched it.
And then I think they also had runner on in the 7th as well. But yeah, scrappy teams for sure. Not like great size on the field, but the ball's kind of flying, honestly. They were hitting pretty well. Oakleaf had a bunch of balls in the gaps. But I will tell you a big thing in this game that made a difference, and you'll see when the highlights pop up on your YouTube channel, is the base running from Oakleaf. I think they got thrown out at home once. You could see the coach full on double hands up, telling the runner to stop, and he blows right through it. He gets hosed by like 6 steps.
Jeez.
Wasn't even close. And then I think they got thrown out again also. So it was
at home?
No, I think that was just thrown out somewhere else. I don't remember, honestly. But definitely some things to clean up from both teams looking into it. And then Oakleaf started a freshman on the mound. I think his name is... I had it pulled up. Give me just a second. Jeremiah Ronaldo. So freshman started game 1 for them on the mound. And first 2 innings, he looked dominant. Looked pretty good. And then the last inning, just lost control. Big number. I want to say like 5 or something in the 3rd inning. So the game just kind of slipped away from them there. But you know how like Oakleaf is and Baldwin is. Like the smaller schools, I would say that like aren't as big up in the rankings. One thing that they always bring to the table is like high effort and energy. And the dugouts are usually really loud and crazy.
Yeah.
I know you playing against them. Like one thing they're always they might get outmatched talent wise if they're playing against like some of the top teams in the city, but their like heart and passion's always there, which is also good to see.
Yeah, and that game, Oakleaf Baldwin, was actually one of our game of the weeks last year as well.
Yeah, it was fun too.
I think Oakleaf won that one, right?
I'm not sure. It was at Oakleaf. I remember going to it,
Yeah.
but I don't remember who won.
And Baldwin's kind of one of those. They're in Jacksonville. It's kind of one of those cities where a lot of people come to those games as well.
Mm-hmm.
How was the fans there? Was there a lot of people there?
It was just average size. It wasn't small for sure, but I wouldn't say it's like nothing crazy. It wasn't like there was a ton of people there. But also, it was a Tuesday. It's not like one of the like big Friday night games or something. So,
player of the game from Baldwin Oakleaf was the pitcher. He also hits Maxwell Gallagher, presented by Represent the Code. So they're going to send over him a T-shirt, pair of shorts, and then a few stickers. He went 2 for 4 at the plate, 2 RBIs, 4.1 innings pitched, 5 Ks. Just talk about how he looked to you. To be the starting pitcher and then go for 2 for 4 at the plate and 2 RBIs is pretty solid. So he definitely earned player of the game.
Oh yeah, everyone loves this Shohei Ohtani nowadays. Yeah. So he took over baseball. Yeah, but controlled the ball on the mound. Off speed looked good. Like I said just a few minutes ago, first inning had that 1 earned run that slipped by, or not, it was unearned off of the error. The next 3 innings were great, and then that 4th inning, you see he only got 1 out in that inning. Kind of just like fell off a little bit. Maybe it's just fatigue from beginning of the year, not being at peak shape, your arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, he looked good and hitting as well. I remember he had an RBI single to right. And other than that, just a good game from him, straight up.
Yeah, not bad.
And then we went to play first after, so it's always like I feel like it's more difficult to go from the mound and straight to the field and have to play position after that.
Yeah,
especially how being a pitcher is like such a big mental game.
Tell us about the play of the game. What was your play of the game?
So probably one of the coolest plays so far. Well, obviously it's the coolest play so far here, but we got the play of the game presented by Boost Energy and Coffee. You're gonna pull up the video.
Let me fix that real quick.
Yeah, but Turner Farah with a cool diving catch up the middle, and
here we go. The 3rd time's a charm.
I think here it is. No sound on it, but yeah, just a diving play up the middle, full extension. You can see him smiles and having fun out there.
Yeah, that was pretty solid.
Yeah, it was. I think that could stick around for a play of the game for a couple more weeks. I think that's not an easy play to beat in a game, having like a cool play like that.
If you go back and watch the YouTube video that'll be out in a couple days, watch that ball. Like that ball almost like knuckles to Turner, and I don't know how he caught it. Diving catch.
Yeah, it was knuckled off the bat. Also wanted to add from that game that small ball is back in business. I'll tell you what. There was like at least 4 bunts in that game.
Really?
Yeah. Both teams were bunting too. It was cool to see. Now, I don't agree with all of them because sometimes, I don't get. I'm going on a little rant here.
Yeah, to go for it.
Is when you have runner at second base with 1 out already. Why are we bunting? I don't get that.
It just depends what part of the order you're
in.
I'm
talking about full square around bunting, showing everyone that you're bunting.
Sack bunt, the first.
Yeah. Okay. Then now you got 2 outs. Runner at third with 2 outs. You still have to get a hit.
I think it just depends.
If you're playing against good competition, odds are a pass. What are you banking on, a pass ball getting by?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't like it. It happened a couple times. I mean, there's probably some sort of reasoning about it. I don't say those coaches are like dumb or anything, but
yeah, for sure.
I don't agree with the calls.
All right, let's hit a break. When we come back, we'll hear from Matthew Bysheim. He joins us in the studio. We'll talk about that win he had against Trinity. When we come back, we'll be with him here on Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network.
So the mission of Torque Sports Performance has been from the beginning to improve athletic performance through expert coaching. We look to not water down our system for any specific reason. We want to maintain a level of quality. We want to maintain a level of culture regardless of the trainer's age or their sport competency. What we will do is adjust their programming accordingly. The biggest thing that we strive to tell folks is that we don't want athletes here because their parents want them here, because their coaches want them here. We want athletes here who want to be here for themselves. Strong, powerful, resilient. Those are our 3 key takeaways from our culture as well as our athletes who train here.
At Torque Sports Performance, individualized training matters because not every athlete is the same. We use items like Rapsodo, Output Sports, Zybeck timing lasers, and Rep 1 velocity-based training to help facilitate each client's training. Each client should be coachable. They have the desire to get better, train hard, and learn. We create an environment that fosters growth. And with the competitiveness in here, each client pushes another client, and it's my job too as a coach to understand when to push an athlete, but do it in a safe and proper manner.
I want to tell you about something new that's coming, and it's built a little differently. Boost Coffee was created around a simple belief. Coffee should do more than wake you up. It should lift your day, your mood, and your momentum. That's why Boost roasts their coffee in-house. We raise the bar on freshness, flavor, and quality. Why every drink is customizable, because great coffee should be personal, not mass-produced. Boost is built for early birds, night owls, go-getters, and anyone who refuses to settle for average. It's fast because you need it now, mindfully crafted because ingredients matter, and personal every single time. Boost isn't just about coffee, it's about elevating people. Boost Coffee is coming soon. Energy that moves the moment.
The Dantzler Group is a family-owned construction company serving Florida for over 30 years. Our promise is simple. Simply do the right thing. We anticipate and execute bringing real construction experience to residential renovations, additions, roofing, and commercial projects with clear communication and craftsmanship you can see. From the first conversation to the final walkthrough, we believe trust is built through preparation, transparency, and work done the right way. That means no shortcuts, no guesswork, just experienced builders focused on lasting results. Within a customer-focused team and over 100 years of combined construction experience, the Dantzler Group is ready to deliver quality you can trust, whether it's residential, commercial, or roofing, done the right way. Visit dantzlergroup.com.
This is a special presentation on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Welcome back to the Where's Home show. We got the quarter 3 of the show. We're joined in here by Matthew Bysheim, the man that won against the God Squad of Trinity, 2-0. Just tell us a little about Thursday night, Matt. You went 5 innings, 70 pitches, 1 hit, 6 Ks. Against that stacked Trinity lineup. What was kind of working for you?
Yeah, I was definitely in command of my fastball, and it had a little extra. It was just the biggest thing for me was commanding the breaking ball and my changeup. And is that good?
Yeah, you're good.
It was the biggest thing for me was just commanding my changeup and slider in those 2-0, 2-1 counts, so they just didn't get big swings off.
Yeah, just take me through that start day. It's kind of different for everyone. Do you long toss when you go out there before start day? Is it kind of, take a rest on your arm, fill your pitches and stuff? Just what does your start day look like, headed up to week 1? And, you probably pitched in preseason. So, what's that start day look like for you?
Usually an hour before the game, I'll put my headphones on, start locking in with the playlist, and then I'll probably 35, 40 minutes out. When it's a home game, I'll go start stretching, getting your mind right, doing everything, bands. And I don't like to long toss on game. I'll just get out there 150, 180, and last throw, I'll throw it really high, just get the arm loose and work the way back in.
A little bit different playing away your start day, or
yeah, away I'll start warming up like 10 minutes later because I don't like to. I work quick already, so it's if I warm up a little too early, then I'm just sitting around.
Yeah,
I don't like that. Yeah.
All right. Obviously starting game 1 against Trinity gets you a little bit hyped up. It's a game 1 anyway, so you're going to be a little bit more hyped probably. And then also you played with those guys in the past in summer ball. So talk a little bit how that feeling was.
Yeah, I knew I asked for the game about 2 weeks out, so there was definitely some anticipation going into that game. Definitely had my A stuff there, and it felt good to get those.
I bet so.
Senior year.
And did you pitch against them last year?
I pitched against them my sophomore year, and when we beat them, but I had an off start, so I wanted to ended off on a good
so
one.
you beat them twice now. You can
Yeah.
say.
Yeah,
okay.
2-0.
Yeah.
Just tell me a little bit about the Creekside team this year. What's kind of the difference, from this year's team to last year's team?
I would definitely say we have more bats. We got a transfer Dom Quintona from Bartram from our rival, which obviously feels great. And the younger kids, sophomore to junior, we have a really good junior class. And seeing those young kids starting to perform, the lineup's starting to look good, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Matthew's committed to Gulf Coast State College, right, out in Panama City. So talk a little bit about committing there and why you chose that school.
Yeah, Coach Norred, the assistant pitching coach, he's the one that originally reached out to me. He was super welcoming, and then I got there on the visit, and Coach Younger, who's actually the head coach, he's the pitching guy, which is a pitcher, and them breaking down everything they do, and definitely a good fit for me. They have a good reputation of sending kids on to good D1s. Nick, who was at Creekside last year, he's there, and he really likes it.
Oh, cool, yeah. And then what does the life of Matthew Bysheim look like outside of baseball? What hobbies do you have getting into, or on the weekends after a start? What are you up to?
Yeah, definitely big game like that. I would like to go out on the golf course after, have some good time with the boys. Saturday night poker nights with the boys is always anything with team bonding. It's always great.
Sounds like my type of night.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, sounds fun. I want to talk about when you committed to Gulf State College. What kind of led you to that process? And were you talking to anybody else before committing to Gulf State?
It was on and off, but really they were really pursuing me hard, and just seeing all the kids that they had developed and sent on to FSU and those good D1s, and they have a good reputation. So definitely, and Coach Younger was amazing. He came from Mississippi State, I'm pretty sure, so he has a good reputation. He's awesome.
Wait, couple more questions left. Just kind of take me through your week. Are you a big long toss guy? If so, what days do you long toss? What days do you kind of rest? If you're starting on a Friday, how does that week look like for you?
Usually, last week, I threw on Thursday, so I threw my bullpen on Tuesday, and either mattering how my arm feels, either Tuesday or Monday, I'll long it out, get the arm feeling good. But the day before, usually just take it light, and the next day, be ready.
Yeah, most teams obviously have that goal of winning a state championship. But do you have any small individual goals to gain from your last year of high school baseball? Would you say any, or just continue to improving?
I want to get more strikeouts this year, and just having more innings overall, because I feel like the past couple of years, last year I was injured to start the year, and I just want to stack at least 65, 70 innings.
Yeah, you guys got Beachside, Clay, and North Marion this week. Your rivals Bartram, Beachside just beat Bartram 4-0. Just kind of talk about, coming into this week, how are you guys feeling about these next three opponents?
Yeah, you definitely can't stay on the win with Trinity, and you just got to move on. Beachside, they beat Bartram, definitely a challenge there. And then we'll have Clay, who's got an awesome arm, in Ryland, and North Marion Friday, who they have a couple of good arms that I've been with. So all those games are going to be tough, and got to focus on one game at a time.
Yeah, for sure. And what is one word to describe, this Creekside Knights team this year?
I'd probably say brotherhood. This team is, a lot of us have grown up playing together. The junior class is the biggest we've had, and there's only 4 of us seniors, but we're younger, so we've grown up with those kids, and I would definitely say brotherhood that we're starting and creating over season.
Yeah, last question. Gaige, you got something?
I was just gonna say, I think we ask that question quite a bit when we have people come on the show, and I feel like that's the best answer we've had so far. The team bonding is if the chemistry is the best, then you're gonna be at a higher level playing than just have a winning goal.
For sure. We got one question. We'll let you go. If you could give any advice to anyone going through that recruiting process right before their senior season, what would you tell them?
I'd be because at first I was set on just going D1, and JUCOs are really good. You don't have to be just set on a D1, a good D2, a good JUCO. They can send you places. At first you were so set on going D1 because everyone wants to go there, but I think this JUCO that I'm going to, they're elite. It's nothing bad. You still can go D1 after. So I would say not being set on just going D1.
Yeah, I appreciate you joining us, and good job last week, and good luck the rest of the week.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Man, that's the guy right now.
He is.
If
the
anyone looking outside looking in, to high school baseball, they're looking at that Trinity Creekside game. Everyone's looking at Trinity. They're looking at that lineup. They see all the guys they have. Kind of coming in. They come up with those national rankings. I believe they were top 10, maybe top 25. There's a lot of different ones that come out, but it's good stuff by the Knights and Matthew Bysheim. Owns Trinity.
He does.
2-0 in the last 3 years.
Wow.
That's pretty solid.
They can't say nothing.
Yeah, for sure. We'll hit a break and we'll come back. We'll announce the hitter of the week, the pitcher of the week. We'll go over some the game of the week next week. We'll announce that, and then we'll end it off with a boost around the bases, cover the bases with Braden Harris. No Schlicksup. We went to St. John's and walked around the bases with Braden, and we'll show that at the end of this episode. But we'll hit a break. When we come back, we'll talk about that.
The Dantzler Group is a family-owned construction company serving Florida for over 30 years. Our promise is simple. Simply do the right thing. We anticipate and execute bringing real construction experience to residential renovations, additions, roofing, and commercial projects with clear communication and craftsmanship you can see. From the first conversation to the final walkthrough, we believe trust is built through preparation, transparency, and work done the right way. That means no shortcuts, no guesswork, just experienced builders focused on lasting results. Within a customer-focused team and over 100 years of combined construction experience, the Dantzler Group is ready to deliver quality you can trust, whether it's residential, commercial, or roofing, done the right way. Visit dantzlergroup.com.
I want to tell you about something new that's coming, and it's built a little differently. Boost Coffee was created around a simple belief. Coffee should do more than wake you up. It should lift your day, your mood, and your momentum. That's why Boost roasts their coffee in-house to raise the bar on freshness, flavor, and quality. Why every drink is customizable, because great coffee should be personal, not mass-produced. Boost is built for early birds, night owls, go-getters, and anyone who refuses to settle for average. It's fast because you need it now, mindfully crafted because ingredients matter, and personal every single time. Boost isn't just about coffee, it's about elevating people. Boost Coffee is coming soon. Energy that moves the moment.
So the mission of Torque Sports Performance has been from the beginning to improve athletic performance through expert coaching. We look to not water down our system for any specific reason. We want to maintain a level of quality. We want to maintain a level of culture regardless of the trainer's age or their sport competency. What we will do is adjust their programming accordingly. The biggest thing that we strive to tell folks is that we don't want athletes here because their parents want them here, because their coaches want them here. We want athletes here who want to be here for themselves. Strong, powerful, resilient. Those are our three key takeaways from our culture as well as our athletes who train here.
At Torque Sports Performance, individualized training matters because not every athlete is the same. We use items like Rapsodo, Output Sports, Zyback timing lasers, and Rep 1 velocity-based training to help facilitate each client's training. Each client should be coachable. They have the desire to get better, train hard, and learn. We create an environment that fosters growth. And with the competitiveness in here, each client pushes another client, and it's my job too as a coach to understand when to push an athlete, but do it in a safe and proper manner.
This is a special presentation on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Welcome back to the Where's Home Show. Quarter 4 starts now, live here on Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Let's go over, hitter of the week. Gaige, who you got for us?
Yeah, so very first hitter of the week, week 1, presented by Dantzler Group General Contracting and Roofing, is 2026 Oakleaf Knights baseball player Elijah Brown. As you can see up there on the screen, Elijah batted 700 this week, 7 for 10 at the plate, 1 walk. He did score 5 times and had 4 stolen bases. And I was actually fortunate enough to watch him this week against Baldwin. One of the cool hustle plays. First of all, I think he got 3 hits in the game anyways. But one of the hits to left field, it gets past the shortstop, and Elijah just doesn't stop. He just makes a heads-up play, rounds first base, keeps going to second, slides in head first. Is safe. He stole 2 bags that game. So really just aggressive, fast on the bases, and also when you're getting on 7 times by a hit, 1 a walk, you're going to score a bunch. And I'm pretty sure he bats leadoff. So
yeah,
he's getting on a bunch and giving his guys following up in the 2-3-4 hole good opportunity to get him in.
Yeah,
it's a great week from Elijah for sure.
That's good stuff for the Oakleaf Knights. They played Baldwin, Ponte Vedra, and Bulls, and then came out with the win against Ponte Vedra. This week they got Fleming Island, Sandalwood, and Newberry. So kind of just a little bit of a backstory. We post out a form Friday night. You guys, coaches, parents, players, you guys can sign up to be, the hitter of the week, pitcher of the week. Just take some stuff off of us a little bit so we don't spend 3 hours on max preps checking every single game, everyone's, average and stuff. So Elijah Brown batted 700 this week. What a way to start off.
Great confidence boost probably for the season as well.
Yeah.
Even if you lose a couple games, you're still, internally that you're playing well. So it just gives the team a good boost as well if you're walking in confident.
Yeah, for sure. It's good stuff. Let's get to pitcher of the week. I'm trying to pull it up here. Getting close. We're frozen, that's why. All right, here we go. Pitcher of the week this week. We just talked to him. Go with Matthew Bysheim. Pitched 5 innings, 1 hit, 0 runs, 0 walks, 6 Ks, 70 pitches, against Trinity. There was a lot of good pitching this week, but this one kind of separated from all of them. Just good stuff by Matt in his senior season, the first game he starts. You're going to get tired of us, talking about it, but it was a pretty great performance by him, and then that was pretty awesome. When you saw that, I think I sent a text message earlier in the day about this game. We don't have to talk about it, but I was like, Matt.
I know what you said.
You know what I said?
Yeah.
I was like, Matt shuts him down, and he told us earlier, I didn't know this, he's 2-0 against Trinity in his career, and that's pretty awesome for him.
Yeah, and I think it's really impressive, only on 70 pitches as well. If it probably wasn't game 1, later in the season, you can see he works very efficient, so he probably could have went through a whole game, but they probably had him on a limit going into game 1. So
yeah. All right,
definitely a good outing.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll post those on Instagram tonight. We'll collab if you guys want to collab with us. Next up, we got game of the week.
Exciting one for you.
Exciting one.
Is this breaking right now?
There it is. What? Providence versus St. John's. Providence has a good team this year. They were in the bubble of our top 5 rankings.
I hope they didn't see that then.
What?
Well, you just gave them an extra boost of fuel right there. You just put them on the bubble.
Yeah, they're on the bubble.
And then they're playing you this week. So
we'll see how it goes. Are
you expecting to get their what's his name?
Gavin Duva.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
Shout out him as well. He could have definitely been hitter of the week. Yeah, 2 home runs. Yeah. Very impressive.
It was kind of back and forth with him and Elijah Brown. They played Fletcher this week, Sandalwood, and they also played UC. They won that one 7-6. Sandalwood they won 3-1, and Fletcher they won 6-3. They got some good guys. Luke Manderson, Grant Shepard, as you see on the screen on the left side. Gavin Duva, like you said. Preston Merkini. They kind of had a slow preseason. They lost the Covenant, which is just preseason. I'm sure each guy's thrown like 1 inning. You never really know what's going to happen. And then, St. John's went 3-0 as well.
I know you guys are looking forward to this game probably.
Yeah, we definitely are. This was a good game last year. This was also another one of our game of the weeks last year.
We're just repeating, huh? We just
guess
keep it simple.
That's what the fans want,
Copy and paste.
Yeah, I guess so. But another good game of the week that was let me pull it up real quick. It was like this was like really close.
This was at Providence, right?
Yeah, last year
I feel
was
like
at
I remember
Providence.
being there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I filmed it obviously, so
you were there.
Yeah.
All right, let me pull up this poll real quick. I'll list the 4 we had. It was St. Joe's versus Bowles, Snyder versus Swanee, Providence St. John's, Bartram Clay. Bartram Clay is going to be a good game, I think. Both lost a game this week. St. Joe's versus Bowles had 31.7%, and Providence St. John's had 32.7%. So it was a close one.
Yeah.
Total of 104 points. And then obviously St. John's has Braden Harris, which you guys hear from him here in a minute. Video we recorded a couple weeks ago. Cover the Bases, presented by Boost Energy and Coffee. You got Preston Cole there at shortstop. Jonas Wells, you see on the screen. And we got a lot of junior pitchers: Madden Williams, Ethan Bissell, Gavin Coffey. They all pitched this week, did awesome. So I think this is going to be a good game.
I think, obviously, or not obviously, but an interesting week is, you guys, there's a lot of preseason rankings that come out, and then you have week 1 rankings, and you're like, oh, this team, like week 1, they went 3-0. We should put them in there. I think week 2 is probably a bigger teller as the way things go, because was it a fluke of your week 1? Can you be able to bounce back and show that you're a better team if you lost a couple games, or if you won a couple games, can you show that you're the real deal?
Yeah.
So
sure.
week 2 is definitely an important week in the season. You don't want to start off 1-5 for sure, or something like that if you're a struggling team. So we'll definitely keep our eyes out on all the scores going around this week. Or I will for sure. I know you will as well.
That's going to end it here. Thanks for joining us. Maybe we'll see you later on in a few episodes.
Who knows?
Who knows? We'll see. But thank you guys for watching, the first episode of the Where's Home Show this year on Action Sports Jacks 24/7. We're going to play a video. Check out the exclusive video of Braden Harris. Cover the Bases, presented by Boost Energy and Coffee. Thank you guys for watching.
Peace.
I got this.
Peace again.
Hello, everybody. Noah Schlicksup, joined by Braden Harris, senior at St. John's Country Day, and we're about to cover the bases, brought to you by Boost Energy and Coffee. Braden, you've had a very decorated high school career thus far. What's something you'd like to accomplish this year, though, that you haven't yet?
Definitely win a state championship. I mean, we came so close last year, and I think we're even more prepared this year, and I think we're definitely going to get it done.
What leads to that confidence for you about this team? What do you think makes this group special?
The way the practices are all year round, I mean, through the fall and the winter, we work so hard that the games really should be the easiest part. You put in all the work, and when you get to that game, it should just be natural, and you should just get it done.
I tell you, I hear plenty about this work. We got Chandler Dantzler trying to produce UNF basketball games, and he's got 4-hour practices we got to deal with. With this group, though, it feels like that kind of builds continuity between you guys. Talk about the chemistry and how that maybe compares to past teams here.
Yeah, we're all really close, and in those games, the closer you are, those are usually the teams that get it done. I mean, baseball is more of a team sport than most sports. I mean, you need everyone to contribute.
Can't have one guy that does it. You got to have, 8 other guys you can hit in the order.
Yep, definitely.
And with that chemistry, how does that translate on game day? Does that allow you guys feeling more comfortable in communication, or is that just confidence in each other? How does that show up for you?
Definitely both. It's a lot easier to communicate with people that you're close with, and when you know you got your guys to back you up, everyone's confidence is higher. When everyone has the same confidence, that's how you win those games.
We're talking with a Florida State commit here. Talk about Tallahassee. What made that feel like home for you?
The way the coaches were, I committed. There was a lot of different coaches along the way, but what made me stay was Link Jarrett and Posey right now. I mean, the first time I talked to them, I knew that's where I wanted to go.
Have you gotten to speak with former Jacksonville players or current ones that are there with the Seminoles?
Not much, but I've heard them talk at like camps and stuff, and they all of them say the exact same thing about the coaching staff, and I'm definitely looking forward to being there.
If you could add one pitch from any player the exact same, say it's Paul Skeen's fastball, splinker, Clayton Kershaw's curveball, if you could add one of those pitches, anything to your arsenal, what would it be?
I'm not sure. Probably a Tarek Skubal fastball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, he's shoving right now. Just got $32 million in arbitration.
I know.
Not bad money in baseball, kids, if you're watching. And then going forward, what do you feel like your biggest strengths are on the mound facing these high school hitters?
I would say my command with 4 pitches and my confidence. I mean, I think I have more confidence than any pitcher that like no one could have more confidence than me out there. And the command and the way I can just go through the entire game with the same velo and command gets me, I think, makes it different from a lot of other players.
Who's the toughest hitter you've ever faced in high school?
Oh, I'm not sure. Honestly, it was probably Brad Hodges my 8th grade year. I pitched against him, and he was a senior and I was in middle school, and you could definitely see the difference between a middle schooler facing a senior that good.
That's a legend right here.
Yep.
Over at St. John's Country Day, and you guys trying to write your names in the legendary history books here and add another state championship to the trophy case this year. That's Braden Harris, everybody, and we just covered the base.